I'm James at Bespoke Airsoft and welcome back to another episode of Bringing It Home. This is EMG Sidearm Week. Yes, we're looking at the sidearms brought to you by EMG, which is a lot of the Salient Arms stuff, and we'll get to this in just a moment. Thank you. So not only have we got one pistol for this week, we've actually got two pistols for this week. If you haven't watched the last video where we talked about the boxes for these, go check that out. If you really can't bother to go and check the other video out and you're just here for this pistol alone, these come in the nicest boxes externally on the market. The manufacturers could learn a thing or two from these guys, and the first impressions that these give you are absolutely superb. It just oozes quality, and that's what you want when you're spending this kind of money on a sidearm. So behind box numero uno, we have the 4.3 sized Hi-Capa from EMG. These are the Salient Arms 2011 DS pistols, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong. This being the black one, which is the 4.3. Like I said, we've got two boxes, so let's get the magazine out there as well. So we've got the 4.3 in black, and we've also got the 5.1 size frame in silver. Oh, look at this. Really excited about this colour of the Salient Arms Hi-Capa because I haven't actually seen it yet. So let's put the magazines in and we'll get into this review. So these are a full metal pistol brought to you by EMG. That's who the license is from for the Salient Arms markings and such that you see. These are OEM'd by Armourer Works, offshoot of WE. Armourer Works are a sister company to WE, but they tend to put a lot better QC on the products, and the quality, like I say, is a lot higher in my experience. This is the first time we've looked at these pistols. We've had these pistols on the website before, of course, but this being EMG Sidearm Week, we're taking a more in-depth look at these pistols. We've of course got two models. We've got the 4.3, which is sort of designed after the normal 4.3 style Hi-Capa, and we've of course got the 5.1. And you can see the size differences there, the 5.1 just being slightly longer. Lower frame is exactly the same, magazine is exactly the same, and what you'll notice from these pistols straight away, it's a full metal pistol, and these are an absolute joy to hold. Superb first impression from this pistol. The quality of the metal and the slide and everything is very, very nice. The magazine itself, very, very nice metal, and then we've got CNC bumpers on the bottom here. They're a little bit loose, but nothing really to grumble about. It's not a real firearm. So these come with a gas magazine, but you can get CO2 magazines as well. CO2 magazines for these pistols are quite steep. You're looking just below about £100. That's not down to us being greedy. That is literally just because Armourer Works send these magazines to EMG, which is E-Viking US. They then come from EMG over to the distributor in the UK and then the distributor to us. So these magazines unfortunately are just expensive. If you don't want to pay the premium though, you can go find Armourer Works gas and CO2 Hi-Capa magazines. They're exactly the same magazine. You'll probably find they've just got a different bumper on the bottom. So getting into the pistol, we've got a full metal lower and a full metal upper slide here, done in this lovely black finish on the 4.3 that you see here. All the normal controls from a Hi-Capa that you can experience. However, the grip being a little bit different because it is, like I say, full metal. You haven't got the polymer frame that screws into the sort of the lower frame. Nice low profile grips here with the Salient logo, very, very, very nice. The dovetail on the back here is very sort of slimline. It's not sort of out there like the normal 5.1s and the 1911s. Goes with the sleek design of the pistol. In terms of ambidextrous capabilities of this pistol, the magazine release is found on the left hand side, cannot be switched to the other side unfortunately. The safety however can be functioned from both sides. Once the pistol's cocked you can push it up, stops you from pulling the trigger, stops you from racking the slide. Like I say, found left and right side. These safety levers can also be used as thumb rests because they are quite prominent. It makes it holding the pistol very, very nice and comfy. The slide release here, like a normal Hi-Capa 1911, but it is like sort of machined in a way that's a little bit more suave. You've got like a nice porting on the side here, very, very nice. Let's take this warning sticker off here because we want to see those lovely trademarks. This box. So we've got Salient Arms International down the side here, we've got slide serrations and sort of machine sections here. Very, very nice, nothing too dissimilar from many Hi-Capas if you're familiar with the Hi-Capa platform. Salient Arms logo and Salient on the right hand side of the slide. And then we've got SAI and then what I presume would be an individual serial number, which is on the lower frame. Mount there for all your torches, lasers, whatever you want to put on there. And then we've got Salient Arms International, Las Vegas, Nevada on the right hand side of the frame. No made by WE, made by Armour Works nonsense. We don't want that on the pistols. Manufacturers, you've got to learn. We don't want to see that. We want these to be as close as possible. We fully understand that licensing is a little bit difficult now, but it's nice to see that there's none of that on this pistol being a licensed pistol from EMG. Let me just get this made in Taiwan. Oh no. It's one of them stickers where you pull it off and it hasn't quite come off in full. So you've actually got a silver trigger here and a silver hammer. The trigger release is obviously very, very normal for a Hi-Capa. This is probably the only downside of this pistol that I can see, along with another which I'll go through in just a moment, is the triggers on these things aren't the best. Luckily, this being a Hi-Capa platform, the amount of triggers on the market, if they're not like a straight drop-in fit, they're probably very, very easy to modify to get to fit these things. It would be nice if these were gold to match the gold barrel. Salient's all about the gold, not about the silver. Not in talking about the silver 5.1 that is, but nice gold, nice gold barrel here, 45 ACP on the top, and then the barrel is flattened on the one side where you've got SAI, locking the slide to the rear. Nice gold barrel as you see there. Iron sights is my next bugbear about these pistols. They put a nice fibre optic front sight on there, and they've done the same as they've done with the BLU. They've left the back sight really dark and dingy. It's not the easiest thing to pull up and draw. It'd be nice for some colour on there just to differentiate. We know the guys make these sights in different variants and stuff and fibre optics, so it would have been nice, especially when you're paying this kind of money, to have that capability there. Rear iron sight is a little bit loose, that just needs tightening up. But like I say, the amount of aftermarket Hi-Capa rear iron sights and front iron sights that are available on the market, the world is your oyster. There's no more supported pistol than the TM Hi-Capa range, and I'm sure the iron sights will go on there. If not, it might just be a slight modification. Like I say, the trigger brake, very, very nice. Reset. You've probably got about the same amount of distance as the BLU, but it's just because this trigger's a little bit loose, it doesn't feel quite as prominent. Now, these actually come in a couple of different variants, just while I'm on the instance of the black model here. We actually have two different types on the website. So we have this type, which is the aluminium version. We have it in black in 4.3, black in 5.1. We have the silver in 4.3, the silver in 5.1. But then we have the new steel version that they're doing. So the whole pistol is made out of steel. Exact same dimensions as the 4.3 and the 5.1. Everything's the same, just the upper and the lower frame and the top slide are made of steel. Now, this pistol without the magazine on the scales, short alley 4.3 is 630 grams. The short steel counterpart of this pistol, so the exact same pistol but with the steel slide, comes in at just over a kilo at 1,082 grams. So you can see there's definitely, it's almost double the weight. I don't have a steel one here with me just because we haven't got many of them on the website. But you can definitely tell picking them up, it does feel like the real thing. Magazine weighs in at about 365, just for you guys that want to know. The long 5.1 unloaded without the magazine comes in at 665 grams. The long steel version in black comes in at 1152, so you can see they're almost double the weight. Moving on to the 5.1, of course, all the same features as the 4.3. Upper and lower are metal. Gold barrel is exactly the same as the black versions, obviously the 5.1 being a lot longer than the 4.3. and the magazine, instead of having a black bumper, has a silver bumper. Now I was really excited about this silver version because you sort of look at it in pictures, and I hadn't picked one up, and obviously when I was picking this up to bring it home to do this video for you, I was really excited to see this. But what was a little bit disappointing is that the silver's nice, but it's a bugger for fingerprints and dirt. If you've got dirty hands, you really don't want to be handling this slide at all. It does tarnish. Tarnish is a strong word. It does dirty up and scuff up a little bit easy. So like if you're working on guns, you've got dirty hands, you put your hands on this slide and your marks there, and you probably just want to carry a rag with some Mr. Sheen with you just to get those marks off, because it is not very nice. Magazine release is exactly the same as the 4.3. Like I said, the frames are exactly the same, it's just a different slide length. And just because we can, I'm going to take the slide off the silver one. You can probably tell what I'm going to do. Let's see if I switch over. 5.1 slide on the 4.3 frame. Like I say, the frames are exactly the same. Nice two-tone look there. Oh, perhaps we should pull some of these out of stock and do this. Cue the other retailers for nicking the ideas. Oh, that's nice. That's nice. That is really nice. I'm a fan of two-tone pistols, to be honest. I think it's really nice, but that kind of looks like a real gun, more so than the black version, in my opinion. Frames are exactly the same, so whether you're picking up the 4.3 or the 5.1, there's going to be no differences there. It's literally just slide length, barrel length, and such forth like that. Do I keep it like this for the rest of the video? It's like musical chairs, but with guns. I really like that. That looks sexy. That looks sexy as. Yeah. So I'm going to stop fooling around with these pistols. I'm just going to take them out and show you that the slides, however, exactly the same Hi-Capa internals as you would imagine. Armour works very similar. All the Armour Works bits and pieces are going to be cross compatible with these things, but not that you're going to want to change it out anyway, because if you're buying a Salient Arms pistol, you want it to be a Salient Arms pistol, so you're not going to go stick something else on your eye unless it's some nice rear iron sights, which I highly recommend. So let's put these back together here. Myself, I'm a fan of short barrels, that's no secret. They're both equally nice pistols. However, I would probably go for the 4.3 just because it's a little bit more manageable. It's not quite as long. For me, the 5.1 is just a little bit long, and the 4.3 is going to be a little bit snappy because it's not having to pull back as much weight. Again, short 630 grams, long 665, so there's another 35 grams in there somewhere. It's going to be the extra weight on the slide. So very nice pistols. Let's get these on the chrono because I want to see what they're clocking at. They're probably going to be doing about 330 to 350 as a guess. But let's get these chronoed, and then what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to fire them both at the same target just to save a bit of time. But the first one will be the 4.3 on the chrono in the range, and the 5.1 will be the second on the chrono in the range. I'll be back in just a moment. So first of all, the chrono test. They were a little bit higher than I was expecting. However, Where they've sat across the room while I've been doing other pistol reviews and stuff for the channel, they're right next to the vent, which is the heating for the house. So I imagine they're very warm. Obviously the magazines are warm. They'd already been gassed as well, so they've been just sat there warming up. Usually these are about 330 to 350 when they've been chronoed in our warehouse. They were a little bit warmer just because they've been sat right next to the thing, but you'll see that after firing a few shots they did sort of stabilise. So the short was about 300-ish and then the long was about 312, I believe. Very respectable results from the target shooting as well. There's, again, hops not set, 0.2 gram BBs in these. The magazines are already gassed with green gas, and they shot fine. Me as a shooter, I'm not as familiar with a Hi-Capa. I haven't shot Hi-Capas for a very long time, but literally just putting the ammo in, pulling it up, looking down the sights at, you know, relatively the middle of the target, and just pulling the trigger 10 times. So they will do, of course, do better with some higher grade ammo like 2.5s, 2.8s and 3s, and having that hop set. So performance wise, they're really snappy. Blowback on these is very, very strong. May have something to do with the fact that the magazines were sat next to the heater. It's about 20 degrees in here now, so CO2 mags of these I can imagine are going to be running that kind of FPS, because CO2 mags tend to be a little bit higher on FPS. So if you are going to use the CO2 mags with these, just make sure you're okay before you jump onto your local site, because the last thing you want to do is either injure someone or get yourself taken out of the game before running a hot gun. But these are very nice pistols. They're very well presented. Trademarks and stuff are very, very nice. In terms of finish, I'm going to have to go with the black over the silver. I really do like the silver at a glance. I don't own any silver pistols. I'm not really a fan of silver pistols, but when I saw these in the picture I was very excited, and I honestly thought I was going to prefer the silver one over it. The silver one is very, very nice. You've just got to keep that finish clean, because it's very easy to get fingerprints and dirt and stuff on there, so you're probably just going to carry it. If you're sort of proud of your gear like I am, you probably just want to carry a rag in your kit just to clean off any bits and bobs if you're running and jumping in ditches and muddy puddles and stuff if you're with a pig. Very, very nice. 4.3 for me personally. There's nothing wrong with the 5.1. It does come out a little bit higher FPS wise compared to the 4.3. The 4.3, same frame, same feel of the grip between the two pistols. I just feel that the 4.3 length of slide is going to be a lot better choice for me, because I like my pistols, and usually I like my pistols short. I mean, I own a Desert Eagle for Christ's sake, so I obviously don't always like short pistols. But it's like I said in the previous video, I'm very reminiscent of a Glock. I like Glocks. This is about the size of a Glock 17, so that's normally about the right size for myself. Feels great. There's not much wobble in the slides whatsoever. What I did find on the silver 5.1 is just I needed to turn the screw on the mag release, just because they hadn't done it from the factory. Not a massive issue. It's, like I say, it's got to be mentioned. Really like these pistols. Love Salient. I'm a massive fan of Salient products. Salient Arms isn't what it used to be. I imagine with John Wick 3 coming out in the next couple of months or whenever it's due, it's all going to be about Terran Tactical, and I know EMG are going to be releasing a Terran Tactical Hi-Capa, which is like the one he uses in the movie, so that's going to be very good. If we can get our hands on that, we'll get it on the show. Respectable FPS, respectable performance out of the box, lovely trademarks all over it. The finishes, like on these as well, like I said, have been very, very nice. You're probably going to want to switch out the rear iron sight for something that's a little bit easier to see. I was struggling a bit firing it just then. I was picking up the green fire optic, but I wasn't really picking up the rear sight very well, which is probably why they were shooting a little bit high to where I was aiming. For the 4.3 that is. I was shooting lower on the target with the 5.1, but you'll see was hitting about the middle, so they were shooting high. But again, I was using 0.2, so that could be a factor. You can find all these on the website. What I will say with the steel version of these, the steel version is very, very nice. Very, very nice. It feels great. Realism, if that's your thing, that is the pistol for you. However, that pistol is extremely expensive. You know, you're almost pushing upwards of 900, nearly £1,000 for that pistol. it is expensive. And it is nice, the steel's nice, the weight's nice, and you pick it up and you're like, whoa, that's something special. But for that massive increase in price, they're still fitting the same triggers. You know, it's just like, oh, come on guys. And they're still giving you gas magazines with the steel version as well. Give us a CO2 mag. We're spending nearly £1,000 retail on a pistol. You want all those things included in the box. Which is why we didn't buy many of the steel versions, just because, honestly, I don't think they're going to sell. Aluminium version, all the way, good performance, nice and snappy. You haven't got a really heavy steel slide, you know, affecting your efficiency and stuff, because that thing's going to be awful in cold weather unless you're using a CO2 mag. But for this and many other standard and bespoke airsoft products, you can go to our website, bespokeairsoft.co.uk. You can also follow us on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook and YouTube. I got that right for a change. If you've got any questions about this model or any of the EMG stuff or any product on our website, you can get in touch with me personally at james@bespokeairsoft.co.uk. Just send me an email. I answer all the emails myself as well as all the Facebook messages. Just bear with me, because I know it's hard to believe, I do get a lot of messages, so just stick with me. But we'll see you in the next video. Thanks for tuning in, and I hope you've enjoyed the EMG Hi-Capa Salient Arms pistol. Thank you.